Thanks for joining us for CBN News Today. I'm Charlene Aaron. American pocketbooks are getting squeezed now more than ever. You don't have to be an expert to notice that costs for many essentials are at an all-time high. From gas to food, Americans can expect to pay even more in coming months. Caitlin Burke reports.
The summer travel season is here, a time when gas prices often drop. But not this year. The current national average for a gallon of gasoline is $3.67. That's higher than it's been since 2008. High costs are being blamed in part on the instability in Iraq. According to AAA, both gas prices and global oil prices have steadily risen since jihadists took control of Mosul last week. Today, the militants are actually flying their flag over Iraq's largest oil refinery. High demand and the cost of drilling also play a role in the high price consumers are seeing at the pump.
A lot more expensive to drill for oil today, so we need higher prices. And again, if you look at the history going back for the last 4 years anyway, oil prices have been pretty stable. They tend to swing, from the 105 range back down to the 93 range. And one of these days it's going to break out above that. And I'm afraid we may be close to that happening just simply because of more demand.
The cost of food is also skyrocketing. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the price index for meats, poultry, fish, and eggs hit an all-time high in May. Meat costs are rising the fastest. A 7-year decline in herds has left the fewest cattle in at least 6 decades. Analysts warn the high prices for both food and gas are here to stay. To make matters worse, Senate lawmakers actually proposed legislation this week to raise the federal gas and diesel taxes by 12 cents per gallon over the next 2 years. That proposal was pitched as a way to pay for highway and transit programs. Caitlin Burke, CBN News.
Islamic militants continue their march through Iraq. As we've mentioned, they're now threatening the country's economy with an assault on its largest oil refinery. If it falls under their control, ISIS will have the power to control the sale of gasoline and cut electricity in parts of Iraq.
Al-Qaeda-inspired extremists raising flags over Iraq's embattled cities triggers in me the same thing that runs through the minds of any veteran who served there, which is bitter disappointment.
Meanwhile, President Obama is considering a U.S. response. Although he's ruled out ground troops, he might order limited airstrikes and send in special forces to advise Iraqi troops. Some Republicans are laying the blame for the Iraq disaster at Mr. Obama's feet. In a Wall Street Journal op-ed, former Vice President Dick Cheney writes, "Rarely has a U.S. president been so wrong about so much at the expense of so many." Throughout its Iraq campaign, ISIS has targeted Christians. Many fled to the relative safety of Kurdish Iraq, but many still fear the wrath of the world's most brutal jihadist group. Our Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell brings us more from the front lines between ISIS and Iraq's Christian community.
We left the friendly confines of Erbil heading towards the historic area of Nineveh, now known as Mosul, home to some of Iraq's besieged Christians.
So this is end line. We cannot go anymore.
Our guide, Pastor Majid, brought us as far as the Kurdish army, called a Peshmerga, would let us go. This is about the end of the line if you don't want to run into ISIS. We've been told they control the mountains behind us right now, and a few kilometers down the road you'd run into an ISIS checkpoint. This is the town called Bartilla. It has about 25,000 Christians in it, but we couldn't find one that would talk to us on camera because they're afraid of retribution. The conditions here are abysmal. There's no water because ISIS has turned it off, and no electricity because the Maliki government has turned that off. They are protected by the Peshmerga, who have set up a perimeter around this town and a few other towns around here. Without that, they know that ISIS would come in and kill most of the people here. They're asking for prayer for Christians around the world, and one Christian leader told me, just like the Apostle Paul asked for prayer, they're asking for prayer that God will protect this town and this region. Bartilla lies just a few miles from Nineveh, or Mosul, the first major victory for ISIS just days ago. We found the town nearly deserted. While Christians in the town wouldn't be seen on camera, we talked to one of the house church leaders. On our way back to the Kurdish capital, Erbil, Pastor Majid relays what he said. He told us when ISIS captured Nineveh, they gave Christians 3 choices.
They are not allowed to open their churches, and even if they opened, they are going to burn the churches. And also the Christians being asked to pay the tax. If not, they can leave Nineveh, and if they didn't left and they didn't pay the tax, they should give their heads.
When you say give their heads, you're talking about being beheaded.
Yeah.
In the midst of this cauldron surrounding them, this church leader sent out a prayer SOS.
Raise up prayers for us. This is what we need. When man is praying, God is working. So it is important for the churches outside Iraq to raise up prayers and also to fast for the sake of the people of Iraq.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, on the road from Bartilla to Erbil.
The crisis in Iraq is stirring fears that Afghanistan could be next. President Obama wants to withdraw U.S. forces from Afghanistan by the end of 2016, but critics fear the Taliban could then rise up and wipe out all the hard-fought gains by U.S. troops, just like what's happening in Iraq. Thursday, 4 Taliban militants struck a NATO post in eastern Afghanistan. The attack took place at the NATO outpost near the Torkham border crossing, a key supply route for the alliance. 37 NATO fuel trucks were destroyed by explosions set off during the gun battle. The Afghan war has lasted more than a decade, and more than 2,000 U.S. troops have died. Israeli and Palestinian troops clashed during an arrest raid in the search for the 3 Israeli teenagers who were kidnapped by terrorists last week. The Israeli military says Palestinians in the town of Jenin threw homemade explosives and stones at Israeli soldiers. The soldiers then opened fire. Israel blames the Islamic militant group Hamas for the abduction of the teens. One of the missing teenagers holds a dual U.S.-Israeli citizenship. More than 30 Palestinians were detained overnight. In the last few days, Israeli troops have rounded up 280 suspects, mostly members of Hamas. Well, Americans are finally getting an official look at the inside of the government facilities overflowing with hundreds of unaccompanied minors. They've been flooding the U.S.-Mexico border the past few months. Cells at an immigration processing center in Brownsville, Texas, are now turned into makeshift dormitories. Hundreds of children sleeping shoulder to shoulder on the hard floor. Most of these children are escaping violence in Central America. Critics claim the Obama administration's immigration policies are to blame for the sudden flood of children crossing the border.
Its policies have created a human magnet for these children to come at great risk themselves.
I'm a little appalled at seeing this, the way they're holding like they're prisoners. They're not prisoners, children.
In 2011, a little over 6,000 accompanied minors crossed the border illegally. But by the end of this year, an estimated 60,000 will have made the dangerous journey. An agonizing, incurable mosquito-borne virus is showing up more and more in the U.S. The good news, there's not an outbreak, but health officials are spreading a warning for travelers. Lori Johnson explains.
Among those traveling in the busy summer season are missionaries, many on short-term missions like Ashley Manning. She went to Haiti on a mission trip and contracted the chikungunya virus. Manning says she could barely walk for a week.
My joints were hurting really bad. I was getting really out of breath and was having a fever. Right now, if I do that, it hurts my wrists.
The painful virus isn't just popping up in countries like Haiti, but in the U.S. as well. An estimated 41 cases so far, with some even as far north as Rhode Island. The virus is transmitted through mosquito bites, and full-blown outbreaks have occurred in Africa, Asia, Europe, and in the Indian and Pacific Oceans.
It's just slowly been picking its way around the world, and finally it landed in the Caribbean.
As the summer travel and tourism season peaks, travelers could continue bringing the virus home with them. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says that even though there is concern, there is not an outbreak. Symptoms are similar to dengue fever. They include fever, headache, muscle pain, severe joint pain, and a rash on the hands and feet. So how do we get rid of the virus?
There's no vaccine for it. There's nothing else you can really do but avoid mosquito bites.
If you happen to contract the virus, health officials suggest rest and drinking lots of fluids. Most patients feel better within a week, but for some, the joint pain could last months. The good news, once a person is infected, they are likely to be protected from future chikungunya outbreaks. As for Ashley, she's recovering and thinking about those she went on a mission to serve and others like them.
It was really rough, and I can only imagine what it's like to the people in the Caribbean and Haiti that are suffering with it right now without any kind of medication.
Lori Johnson, CBN News.
A dispute between neighbors in a Chicago suburb pits the spiritual versus the secular. The nuns at this convent are going to court to have the strip club next door shut down. They say the noisy club keeps them from praying and violates a law forbidding adult entertainment within 1,000 feet of a place of worship.
It tears at the, at the fabric of the community. You have a religious order, and then you have the strip club. It's like, really? It's not right.
This is a difference in ideology. This is not a case for the law, in our opinion. They have the right to do what they believe in, and we have the right to do what we believe in.
The nuns say the club forces them to deal with drunkenness, litter, and public violence, despite the high fence that surrounds the property. They say the community should be free of the kind of activity that the strip club draws. Coming up, he was doing the right things, but for all the wrong reasons. Learn about the dangers of spiritual burnout.
The American Bible Challenge is back. All new tonight. Jeff Foxworthy is ready to play.
The whole family's gonna love it.
Kurt Franklin's gonna sway.
Are you ready?
And you'll see the Bible in a whole new way.
Don't I look chic? That was impressive.
The American Bible Challenge. All new tonight, 8/7 Central, only on Game Show Network.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You could qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost to you. Get free delivery, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers at no charge to you. If you're on Medicare and have knee pain, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost. Friendly agents are standing by 24/7 to help you. Call the Health Hotline right now for details toll-free. Our friendly representatives are standing by now to take your call. We also have other pain-relieving braces available for shoulder, ankle, and your back. You may be eligible to receive these items and more at little or no cost to you as well. Call right now for details toll-free.
Operators are standing by. Call 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143. Again, 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143.
The American Bible Challenge is back. All new tonight. Jeff Foxworthy is ready to play.
The whole family's gonna love it.
Kurt Franklin's gonna sway.
Are you ready?
And you'll see the Bible in a whole new way.
Don't I look chic? That was impressive.
The American Bible Challenge. All new tonight, 8/7 Central, only on Game Show Network.
Charitable giving to universities, hospitals, and the arts is rising, while donations to churches and social service groups remain the same. That's the latest from the Giving USA report, which tracks how Americans give their money. According to the report, Americans gave more than $335 billion to charity in 2013. Religious groups received $105 billion in gifts, more than any other sector. But the 31% share for church groups was their lowest portion of total giving in 4 decades. The research firm Empty Tomb says church members are giving less of their income to their churches than they used to. Well, people of faith are more generous givers than non-believers. That's according to a new study commissioned by the BBC. It shows almost 80% of British citizens with religious beliefs donated money in the past month. That includes 82% of Jews and 78% of Christians. About 2/3 of non-believers had given money. Well, studies estimate there are more than 5 million Christians working in full-time ministry. More than 1 million of them are taking the gospel message to non-Christian parts of the world. Some are even risking their lives. But as Ephraim Graham reports, a leading missionary is sounding an alarm about a different danger in doing good: spiritual burnout.
I want to wake myself up to it's not just what we do, but it's why we do it that is critically important.
Peter Greer has spent his professional life doing good work in the mission field. The president of Hope International leads a global fight against poverty. We caught up with him in Rwanda.
I'm part of a generation that has grown up believing that there are huge needs in the world and the church needs to respond. And so we've thrown ourselves into causes of social justice, we've thrown ourselves into missions, and we have been burnout as a result. And I think a lot of this burnout comes because we have forgotten why we serve.
Charity and service have a dark side, and this is a message Peter Greer addresses in his book, The Spiritual Danger of Doing Good.
How do we run over our family or give our family our leftovers because we are too busy doing good work? How is it that we forget who we're becoming in Christ because we don't have time? We're doing such good things that we don't have time to grow in a real relationship with Christ.
Greer points out, those that work in the mission field are usually aware of their sacrifices of time, money, and even safety. But they don't expect to feel their motivation start to slip. It happened to him more than 12 years ago, while giving blankets to poor refugees, left devastated after a volcano eruption.
And I remember that at that moment, as I was giving away blankets, that one of my friends was not far away snapping pictures. And I was not thinking about the individual in front of me. I was thinking about the pictures that were being taken and about the reaction that my friends back home were going to have when they saw these pictures of a masculine Mother Teresa giving away and serving the poor. And I was so hit by my own hypocrisy that I was not loving the individual that was in front of me. I was play acting for someone very far away.
And Greer warns, spiritual dangers like that don't only happen on the mission field. They can hit right here at home.
And it doesn't matter if you're giving in your local church or you're giving internationally. I think the principles and the underlying issues are exactly the same. We give, we give, we give, we give, we give, and we burn out. And the question is, why is that? And I think part of it is because we buy into a lie that giving to God means that we go without ever resting. It means we go without ever being refreshed ourselves. And I don't think that honors God.
Ephraim Graham, CBN News, Kigali, Rwanda.
Up next on American Idol, he was famous for his dreadlocks, but hey, look at him now. So whatever happened to Jason Castro?
Stop! Living with hair loss, that is. Losing your hair is no fun and no one wants to be bald, but there is hope.
Getting my hair back was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm happy with the way I look now.
I'm very excited about my hair.
I feel beautiful.
I love my hair.
Hair Club offers all proven hair loss solutions backed by our commitment to satisfaction guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied with the solution you choose, Hair Club will apply the purchase price to another proven hair loss solution or transplant more hair at no charge.
And it was the best thing I've ever done.
It looks good on me.
Call in the next 5 minutes to get your free brochure at no obligation. It will tell you everything you need to know about your hair loss problem, and it's free if you call now.
I am more pleased than what I had even imagined.
I at least look, I would say, 5 years younger.
I'm 52, and I look better now than I did when I was in my 40s.
I feel great.
And that's not all. The first 100 people who call will also receive $250 off any hair loss solution from Hair Club. Call now.
This is a national healthcare alert from the Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You could qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost to you. Get free delivery, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers at no charge to you. If you are on Medicare and have knee pain, don't wait. You may qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost. Friendly agents are standing by 24/7 to help you. Call the Health Hotline right now for details toll-free. Our friendly representatives are standing by now to take your call. We also have other pain-relieving braces available for shoulder, ankle, and your back. You may be eligible to receive these items and more at little or no cost to you as well. Call right now for details toll-free.
Operators are standing by. Call 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143. Again, 855-740-8143. That's 855-740-8143.
Well, he didn't win American Idol, but he made it to the top 4, and fans still remember Jason Castro for his signature dreadlocks. Well, the dreads are gone now, and Jason has disappeared from the pop music scene. So what happened to him? Jennifer Wishon has the answer.
He may not have taken the crown, but fans of American Idol still remember former contestant Jason Castro for his dreadlocks and carefree sound. He scored big on the show, making it all the way to the top 4. After leaving Idol in 2008, Castro quickly scored a #1 international hit. Then he disappeared from the charts and the pop music scene, leaving fans with questions. What happened? Why the switch to Christian music? And perhaps the biggest question of all, what's up with his haircut?
Well, you know, it felt like it was time for a change. I cut and was like, oh, this is what it's like to run your fingers through your hair.
But his haircut wasn't the only big change for the 27-year-old. Even with all the fans and fame, loneliness began to take a toll. Although Castro grew up in church, the separation from family developed into a growing separation from God. He also struggled physically with exhaustion. Then came the faith questions.
It started to feel a little meaningless, like why am I doing this just to, I don't know, make a name for myself and make some money. I started to really have a longing to have more, really God in my life. At that point, I just felt so detached from a church community, and I just struggled to stay connected to God on the road through the exhaustion, and I wanted more God in my life. And as a part of that, I was like, I want more God in my music. And I just got to this point that I realized, God doesn't want me to do anything on my own. He wants me to give it all to Him and trust Him with everything. And it really changed everything for me to kind of let go of everything and realize that God can take care of it. This is a story. Are you ready for a story?
Around the same time, Castro became involved with the I Am Second campaign, a popular ministry where Christian celebrities share their personal stories.
This is only a mountain. You don't have to find your way around it. Tell it to move, it'll move. Tell it to fall, it'll fall.
He found new success with the release of his first Christian album, Only a Mountain. Today, Castro tours with some of the biggest names in Christian music, Matthew West, Toby Mac, and the Sidewalk Prophets. But perhaps his greatest accomplishment is as husband and father.
What color are our eyes? Blue. She really changed everything. I didn't know how much she would change it. And more than anything, I want to be here. I want to be a part of her life. I want, her to know that her daddy loves her more than just even in a song. And so, are you saying, you agree with that?
This isn't a story about a young man going to Hollywood and getting lost in the glitz and glamour. Instead, Castro is using Hollywood to share the love of Christ with people around the world. Castro hasn't abandoned his American Idol past. In fact, he uses the platform to give back to others. He spends much of his time overseas working as a spokesperson for the charity Malaria No More and helping with Roma Boots, a nonprofit providing boots to children in need.
When I see these kids in need, I have a deeper connection because I look at them and, and I see my daughter. I see, I remember on the trip there was one kid that was like the same size as my daughter, and he was in snow. He just had on a little sweatshirt, no pants, and we gave him some rain boots, and now he had some shoes.
That's what I'm here for.
We met up with Jason at home in Dallas, leading a benefit concert for Young Life Capernaum, a ministry that specializes in meeting the social, physical, and spiritual needs of young people with special needs. While in Texas, he also leads worship and volunteers with his wife Mandy in the marriage ministry at their church.
Our great Redeemer, glorious Savior, your name is higher than the rising sun.
And when not on tour, there's always music in the Castro house.
You shine forever.
Brother Michael and sister Jackie have strong followings with solo careers of their own. So is there a chance for a Castro family album?
Take it away.
take it away.
Yeah,
We'll have to wait and see. And as for the future,
I don't know what the future holds for Jason, but there'll always be music.
In TV, we say stand by.
TV, we say stand by.
Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, Dallas.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Finally today, two young brothers have just done something quite remarkable. Sean and Eric Grappin earned all 135 Boy Scout merit badges, an extremely rare achievement. It's all because of their great love for learning and a very supportive dad. Normally, boys don't earn all those badges until they reach the level of Eagle Scout. But what makes their story even more amazing is that Sean and Eric are just 11 and 13 years old. That makes Sean the youngest scout in history to earn all 135 badges.
When I first started, I never expected that I would finish it at this age. I mean, I just thought it was a lot of fun, so I kept going for all the merit badges very quickly.
That's the bottom line lesson for them, is I can do it.
It's helped me be a better citizen and be a better person.
MeritBadgeNot.com reports only about 230 boys have earned all those badges in the history of scouting. The Grappin brothers are members of Troop 345 at Wesley United Methodist Church in Northern Virginia. And that's it for now on CBN News Today. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. Tell us what you think about the stories you've seen on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Join us next time. Have a great day. God bless.